Good evening. My name is Anthony Morales, and I'm representing New Horizons Academy. Today, I'm excited to share our plan for integrating innovative technology into our organization. We believe that embracing new tools not only drives efficiency and creativity, but it also aligns with our core values of stewardship and individualized support. We're going to start by touching on the concept of adopter categories based on Rogers' diffusion of innovations theory. So there are five adopters. The innovators are willing to experiment with new ideas. They're usually daring or seen as risky individuals. They're risk takers. Um, they're not always trusted, or not trusted, but respected by their peers because of this risk taking agenda that they seem to have. Early adopters, on the other hand, are more integrated into the social system. They're respected by their peers. They're willing to, once they're convinced, quickly influence others. They're on board. The early majority, they're typically pragmatic individuals who join once the benefit is clear. They think these ideas through before really jumping into them. But they are willing to adopt new ideas. They're just not willing to be the first to do it. Then we have the late majority and the laggards. Now, late majority, they're going to be the second half of the portion to adapt and integrate the new technology. They are looking for every reason that it shouldn't work. But once the data is clear to them, they'll go ahead and jump on board. They don't adopt to new ideas until the majority has pretty much done it already. Laggards, on the other hand, their decisions are typically based off tradition. They don't want to break the tradition that's already been established. So those are our five adapter categories based on Rogers diffusion. Now, our plan is to mobilize early. Okay, so we want to get our innovators and early adopters on board quickly. Our innovators are going to be the first people we talk to. We are going to identify who our risk takers are, who our tech enthusiasts are, and we want their involvement early. Their enthusiasm, can help build positive momentum for our projects. And then from there, we also want to reach out to our early adopters, right? We want to empower them. We want to get our technology to a place where they see that it's worth it and they buy in quickly. If we can do that, they're going to fuel the momentum. And so our goal is usually to do things at least the way that we carry ourselves in this company in a Christ-like manner, right? We tend to tie this back to how Jesus kind of had his group of disciples. So John and Andrew were clear examples of innovators. They were very quickly excited about the message that Jesus was bringing. And that wasn't the case for all the disciples. Some of them were a little skeptic. But John and Andrew, from the beginning, at least from what we can see in Scripture, they were on board and ready to spread the good word. After we reach our early adopters, we are going to transition to the early majority. So the early majority, like I said before, we want to provide them structured training and clear communication. We want to focus on the data and the real benefits of integrating this technology. Excuse me. Research kind of reinforces the idea that the need for early engagement in a structural support system and intentional training drives the change forward. That's kind of our thought process. We want to make sure that we push this forward with the right group of people. So after our early adopters and mobilizing the innovators, we want to finish strong, essentially. So the late majority and the laggards. Now, just because these people are a little bit slower to get on board doesn't mean they're not important. These are equally as important as the first set of individuals. These two groups are a little more skeptical. So the first thing we want to do is acknowledge their reservations. Skepticism usually comes from a good place. Now, how do we combat that skepticism? We have to have tangible evidence that the technology we're trying to integrate is going to benefit our cause. We want to validate their concerns and then, like I said, focus on the benefits. A way that we can do this is to offer support. We can offer training sessions. We can offer individual mentoring. Hands-on seminars are another good idea to help people feel more comfortable with the technological advancement. Change is difficult for most of us, but with the right preparation, we can help to alleviate the difficulties in change. So Bloom, in his research, kind of highlights that empathetic communication, to new practices, it really helps decrease resistance to change. When you let somebody that's skeptical know, listen, we understand why you're skeptical, and we agree with it. However, the data shows that we're moving in the right direction. They are more likely to jump on board, and kind of assist with the change. And so, again, always kind of referencing back to scripture, Jesus had a patient approach with his disciples. I think of the storm when he was sleeping in the boat. The disciples, they lacked faith, and Jesus woke up and calmed the storm. And so every time that there was doubt, Jesus would show his power, but also meet them where they were. The ones that doubted, which wasn't uncommon, the ones that doubted were given signs, and they were still loved in the process of becoming full believers. So at our company, we always want to enforce, or maybe not enforce, but I think encourage and mirror really Christ-like leadership, right? We want servant leadership to be the foundation of our company. Now, incorporating technology isn't solely about efficiency, but we want it to be about ethical leadership. Servant leadership guides us in the direction of being good stewards, like we're called to be. Kind of how the parable of the talents talks about in Matthew 25:14-30. We have to invest wisely and innovate with purpose. Modeling a leadership style that is adaptable and compassionate, we can empower our employees to grow and to innovate and prepare for the future. Very similar to the way that Jesus tailored his ministry to meet individual needs. So I want to thank you guys for your attention.